Let's talk about how to pass the RBS video interview. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English here to help you get hired. Today we're going to be talking about the UK banking giant RBS and how to pass their video interview. As ever, if you want more help to pass your RBS video interview, we've got everything that you need in our RBS Pass the Interview pack, which you can find out more by clicking in the link down in the description below. Today we're going to be talking about the recruitment process for RBS, the most common questions and other interview questions that we found interesting based on our research from publicly available sources that candidates reported over the past 6 months. Let's get into it. So, candidates reported that the hiring process took about 3 months. Stage 1 was an application and online test. It's an online assessment which assesses math skills and other relevant skills. Stage 2 was a video interview where you had to record your answers to a series of questions. You were given 2 minutes to plan your answers and a further 3 minutes to record. Based on the STAR model, it lasted about half an hour. And finally, there was an assessment centre where you were invited for an in-person interview and some other group exercises. So let's talk about the most common questions, and I'm reading off of our handy research note which you can find in our Pass the Interview pack. So there were 8 most common questions that we came across. Let's run through these and talk about how to think around answering these questions. Question number 1, why do you want to work for us? So if you want an in-depth answer to this question, check out the link in the card up in the top right hand corner. When you're thinking about why do I want to work for this company, why do I want to work for RBS, if you've got 3 minutes to answer this, you're probably looking at 6 or 7 unique facts. When I say unique, I mean they can't be said about any other company. Make sure you do your homework, always research this question, whichever interview that you come across. So what about RBS's financials, headcount, awards, officers, customers, news? When we put all of these facts together, another thing that I quite like to suggest that candidates do is make sure that 1 or 2 of those things have a little bit of a personal spin on it. It could be about their corporate social responsibility, technology, diversity, just you talking about, well, why is this important for me? Why does this mean something to me? And why is it so relevant that we talk about this together? Question number 2, describe a situation where you faced a conflict in a team. So you want to be using STAR, which is situation, task, action, result. And with any behavioural question, you always want to think about placing the emphasis of your answer into the action part of it. Don't take too long explaining about where you were, what you did and who you were with, in the sense of the situation and the task. Specifically, we're looking at the actions you took to resolve conflict. And if you're ever not really sure what are good conflict resolution skills, just pop that into Google. That's the quickest way to go about it. So when we're talking about resolving a conflict, it's not necessarily going to be a stand-up fight. It could just be you've had a disagreement, a difference of opinion, a different way of doing things. So the way that I like to think about conflict is, first of all, what is the conflict? Is there an easy way that it can be resolved? Is it between myself and an individual or 2 different individuals? Perhaps it's in and amongst the group. Can we sit down and can we talk about this? What I tend to find is if it's, say for example, I've had a conflict with an individual, then I want to speak to that person by themselves. It's not something that I want to do in a group environment. I don't want to shame that person, and generally people don't really want to admit when they're wrong, and particularly not in front of a group of their peers, and also see how we can move forward in terms of getting the goal done. So if we've got a project that needs to be finished or a task that needs to be completed that's related to our work, because ultimately that's the thing to bear in mind. Of course we'd like everybody to be happy, but most importantly we've got something that needs to get done. The conflict is stopping that happening, so how can we move forward towards that process? Question number 3, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Now if you had 3 minutes to answer this question, it's actually quite difficult. I would choose 2 strengths and 1 weakness, and I'm going to explain why. So with the strengths, you really want to be picking out some of the key skills from the job description. So it could be you need great numerical skills or analytical skills, multitasking, leadership, communication, whatever it is. And what you always want to think is strength plus experience equals proof, right? So I've got great numerical skills because I came bronze in the mathematics Olympiad for 3 years running in my secondary school, for example. Otherwise, we just say I have great numeracy skills, and of course the question that comes up in somebody's mind is according to what. When we're talking about a weakness, so I like weaknesses that have an element of truth. I don't particularly gel towards weaknesses like I work too hard, I try too much, I'm a perfectionist, I can't say no. I find that these are a little bit disingenuous and sound a bit false. So for example, it could be, well, sometimes I have a bit too much attention to detail, I can be a little bit disorganized, my time management skills could use some improvement. And all you want to do is just explain in the interview what it is that you have done to improve this, so the weakness becomes a lesson. So for example, with time management skills, maybe you diarise, you make a to-do list the day before, you make sure that you have reminders set on your calendar, just something that shows that, okay, this is something that I'm not good at, but I put something into place to make sure that I'm better. Question number 4, why did you choose this role, or why do you want to do this role? If you want an in-depth answer to this question, make sure you check the card up in the top right-hand corner. So when talking about why this role, this is really split into 2 parts. Part number 1, what are you going to do? So just explaining what you'd need to do in terms of your daily tasks. Number 2, what skills do you need? So again, you take this from the job description, they're going to talk about your responsibilities and also your skills, and extra bonus points if you're able to drop in some preferred skills or highly desirable skills. That's another thing that you really want to look out for. And you really want to kind of minimize talking about yourself or why you personally want to do the job, because it's not really what they're asking. They're asking for your understanding of the job description, that you know that you're a good fit for the job. Question number 5, give me an example of working as part of a team. So in this question, what you really want to be thinking about is, okay, I want to answer in a star format, I want to be talking about teamwork, what are good teamwork skills? So teamwork is really about listening, communicating, doing your job, going above and beyond, being able to resolve conflict, being able to meet a deadline and being helpful to other people. Now again, if you're struggling with this, just Google good teamwork skills. And if you can, make sure that your examples ideally are coming from work, if not that they're coming from extracurricular or volunteering activities. Academics are fine, but ultimately you want an example that's as close as possible to the thing that you're going to be doing. So work is ideal, and then just go down the scale in terms of what you haven't done. Please don't make the mistake that I see a lot of people do. Many people who watch our videos who are graduates will have some kind of service-based job. Maybe they work in a restaurant, a fast food chain, a delivery driver, a supermarket, and they kind of think, well, that's not so relevant. Of course it's relevant. It's a perfectly good job. It's a job that I've done myself, and you can use those skills to put into this example. Question number 6, when have you considered multiple sources of information when solving a problem? Now this is a great question. I think it's generally something that we can all relate to in terms of academics when we're looking at multiple sources of information. Maybe it might be video, books, articles, essay notes, lectures, those types of things. So really just thinking about the credibility of that information, how we got that information, and then how we categorize that information in order to complete a project or a task that we had to do at university. Question number 7, why did you choose this company and what makes you a suitable candidate for this position? So this is very similar to why do you want to work for RBS, but all you're going to do is you just want to do why do you want to work for RBS as the first half of your answer, and why are you a suitable candidate. I would list out the skills that are in the job description, so maybe 3 or 4 skills, and the proof to show that you're the right candidate because you have the right skills. Question number 8, tell me about a time you worked successfully in a team. This is very similar to question number 5, but what do we define as success? Well, getting a project done, getting a task done, getting commended for the work that we've done. So all you're going to want to caveat on this is just make sure you've got a really good example in terms of the result which you've got. So here are a couple of other questions that we're going to deal with in a quick fire round. What could the bank do better? So this will be a good thing to kind of pull out from recent news articles and something about how the banking system could improve. Question 2, a time when you received excellent customer service. For me, we all know times when somebody's just gone above and beyond to deliver exceptional customer service, and then breaking down why that was. Question number 3, tell me about a time when you have been innovative. So basically looked at a problem in a different way, found a new solution, maybe asked for help, did some research, brought in some ideas from a different industry or a different discipline. Question number 4, tell me about a situation of facing a challenge or a problem and how you dealt with it. So break down the challenge. What is it that you needed to do and how did you go about solving it? Question 5, how do you deal with risk and what do you do when taking risk and what do you consider? So this is quite relevant, and this is really thinking about, well, what is the risk? Can I quantify it? What's the payback and what's the potential loss? And question number 6, what do you know about the job role? So this is really just talking about the job description in depth and the tasks that you'd be expected to do day to day. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Drop us a comment down below. Let us know how your RBS video interview went, what other videos you'd like us to do. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I wish you the best of luck. See you later.